imagine what you've done today is for me. Because I try to get out there and stir things on the grassroots level. And frankly, the call now, this brother here was at a meeting, and the call is to action. We've had plenty of teaching. You know, Watchman Nee wrote a book, and I need to shut up. Sit, walk, and stand. Where are we? Have we sat long enough? Is it time to walk? To engage? Or is it time to stand? Each of us are at a different point. Some are still sitting. Let's have grace for them. Some here are walking and running. And some are standing. But we're in it together.
Yes, sir.
By the grace of God, the republic will go on from the divine light that He has given us. God bless America. God bless each of you. I look forward to seeing you on the path of victory.
Hey, Josh, welcome. Before I wrap up, Bill Cook wanted to make a statement. I'll be the last one to speak.
I want to say how honored I am to be in the room with you guys today. We've seen one of this came today. Great privilege. It gives me great hope that each person came today. Thank you again, Don, for hosting this. I want to just read one sentence to you out of the Declaration of Independence. The most significant sentence, I believe, in the Declaration, and it begins with these words: "We hold these truths to be self-evident." Liberty in America is based on the idea of self-evident truths. When we decide to redefine human nature, what is obvious, anything is possible. Anything can be redefined. It will utterly destroy this nation. We have to get back to self-evident truths from the Word of God. Thanks.
I like that, Bill, because the things are self-evident, the sun's gonna come up tomorrow, the stars will be out. The four seasons we live under, these things are all truths. I'm gonna change the tone a little bit here. This morning, pastors and Christian leaders have been here to speak truth to the elected officials and to the public. Some have already addressed legislation now before the General Assembly, and some have addressed the political issues of it. I will address both the legislation issues and the political issues. First, I want to say that both our nation and our Commonwealth are at war. We are in a war with, number one, the media at large. Number two, the Democratic Party. Number three, members of the Republican Party. We're at war with all three of those. Since the beginning of time, there's been a conflict between good and evil, truth versus lies, right versus wrong. Yes, there is truth, there are lies, there's right, there's wrong. For decades now, our nation has been sliding downhill from good to evil, from truth to lies, from right to wrong. Who is responsible for this slide from right to wrong? Number one, I can put the church there at the top of it.
That's right.
The Democratic Party is dominated and controlled by evil people and liars. This is indisputable. Therefore, every elected Democrat is an agent of evil and deceit. Every elected Democrat is an agent of evil and deceit. The media at large is an agent of the evil because they push and promote the evil agenda of the Democratic Party. The media lies, distorts truth, omits truth, and seeks to shut down any voice of those who have a biblical worldview and oppose their evil agenda. It is not about liberalism or progressivism, it's about pure evil. the Republican Party leadership. Let's address the current Republican members of the General Assembly. I've followed the issues and many Republican people in the General Assembly and other offices for decades, really decades. And I've known and I do like many of the Republican elected. But I admire a few. I like a lot of people in the Republican leadership, but I admire a few. Few actually vote with principle anymore, from a solid biblical worldview. Most go along to get along. Why do the Republican General Assembly members go along to get along? Because they want something. Many seek favor of the Speaker or their majority leader who, with their leadership team, have top-down control. If one goes against leadership and they're not team players, the theme is you play, we pay with something. A special committee appointment, money for your next election, fundraising, you name it. Perhaps a path to leadership in the future. If you're a rogue, you get statements on the editorial pages of Virginia like, it's Bob being Bob. Like Bob and his bills are irrelevant.
Hello.
Just being Bob being Bob. Never heard that before anywhere? And you will never get any benefits. So if you don't go along with the team, you don't get benefits. I spoke with two people the other day about this and asked why don't the Virginia Republicans vote like their voters expect them to vote. I was on the phone for 18 minutes with a longtime member of the House of Delegates with this question. Why don't the elected Republicans vote like their constituency expects them to vote? I know why. They don't want to stand and be held accountable. They vote in secret. If they vote for what is right, the media and the Democratic Party will bash them in the next election. Or maybe worse, their own leadership will bash them and hold them accountable. There are many good bills that will never make it to the House or the Senate floor for an actual vote because leadership doesn't want to take the heat from the agent of evil. And the agent of evil is the media and the Democratic Party. Why? Because everything comes down to winning elections and maintaining power. Power for men who are in office for 10, 15, 20, 30, and maybe even 50 years, as the legislator who just died, Chuck Colgan from Northern Virginia, who served 50 years in the General Assembly. But he was a pro-life Democrat.
Yes.
There, and to my knowledge, there have only been 2 pro-life Democrats in General Assembly for a long time. They went against their party. Very few Republicans will go against leadership. I spoke also to National Committee woman from Virginia for the Republican Party, Cynthia Dunbar, about the current issues now before the General Assembly and how they line up with the National Republican platform. RNC member Cynthia Dunbar of Lynchburg responded. I'm going to quote her response to me. She actually typed it out and sent it to me because I couldn't remember it all. Our platform is, the Republican Party platform, is very clear on the issues. We as Republicans are to be unequivocally pro-life and pro-family. She added that it appears Virginia Republican office holders and candidates need to take the time to read the Republican platform to actually learn what is in it. Many of them seem to be aligning more with groups like Equality Virginia, Virginia Education Association, ACLU, than they are with the platform of the National Republican Party. One clear example is House Bill 1473, the 20-week paying cable bill, which all Republicans should support. Other examples are HB 1612 and HB 1605, which protect privacy rights in the bathroom, and liberal agenda to push for transgender and sexual protections. If our Republicans voted like Republicans, she continues, HB 1473 would be voted out of committee without exceptions. Adding exceptions is functionally the same thing as giving the abortion industry a loophole so large they can drive a semi-truck through it. Unfortunately, many of our Republicans are not voting Republican. I'm speaking, this is what the National Committee woman is saying, a Virginia General Assembly member. Conversely, other bills that would never see the light of day if Republicans were following their Republican platform. Bills like SB 783, SB 822, which are in direct opposition to the platform, are being passed through committee.
Yep.
For these bills to pass, we needed Republicans willing to carry Obama and McAuliffe's water. Surely none of them would do that, but they did. End quote. Dunbar added this: life is the most basic right and one we must protect as Republicans. The platform clearly underscores our belief in the inalienable right to life and has strong support for the enactment of pain-capable legislation. Candidates with an R behind their name should all be supporting HB 1473. No exceptions. There are a number of bills that are truly in line with the Republican platform that every last Republican should support without fear of retribution. This is back to, this is me, retribution from the media. The agents of evil and their leadership will attack these people. They need, our Republicans, elected officials, need to know they're in there to serve until the people vote them out. Their job is to represent the people and the party platform until the people vote them out. If they are voted out, so be it. This is not a career for these people, but they're making it a career. Right will always be right, good will always be good, and truth will always be true. Sexual orientation, gender identification issues will always be bad. The promotion of immorality will always be wrong. Government indoctrination in public schools will always be wrong. Government endorsement and special protective classification of immoral and sexual perversion will always be not only wrong, but evil. In the case of protecting the unborn, government should do all it can to protect and defend the unborn, all that it can. Virginia Christian Alliance supports a number of bills. I give it to the media here, but HB 1677, the call that calls it ending voice votes. This is really bad, folks. Most people don't think about it, but there's so many. The Washington Post did an editorial about it recently. 500, 700 votes each year are closed out on voice votes because the people don't want to, the General Assembly members do not want the public to know how they voted on it. And this is wrong. And they even voted, I did a voice vote against the bill to eliminate voice votes. How corrupt can you be on that? And this is a leadership issue. This is the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader of the House and the Majority Leaders of the Senate are pushing these things. We're supporting the Education Bill, Fiscal Privacy Act, Bill 1612, House Bill 1473, the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Bill, HB 1962, the Education Tax Credit Bill, and there are some other bills that we support, and there's some that we strongly are opposed to, which I won't list them all today. It is not likely that a single Democrat will publicly vote for any pro-life, pro-family legislation. Think about that. It is likely that not a single Democrat in either House or the Senate will vote for bills that we would consider biblically based and truthful bills. And we have another issue. We have Governor Brickwall Collar. Remember that? Brick wall? He said, I stand like a brick wall to protect the Planned Parenthood. Will probably veto any bill, all the bills anyway. He has said so, and he said so, Governor Collins, Lieutenant Governor Northam, and Attorney General Mark Herring are part of what I call the axis of evil. They're anti-life, they're anti-family, and they're anti-God, as is the Democratic Party. We're talking about a governor who appointed a gender-confused man who dresses as a woman as Commissioner of Public Health of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And he heads the health program for some 8 million Virginians. This is who we're talking about. He's going to veto the bills, but the Republicans should pass them anyway. Yep. And then let the public know that they stand for what is right. They stand for truth over lies. They stand for good over evil. This transgender issue of the Public Health Commissioner has never been addressed in the media. Never been addressed in the media since February 2014. You know, the media interviews everybody from dog catcher to everything else. You know how many kids they've got, where they live, you know everything about them. But they will not, no media in the Commonwealth of Virginia has addressed the issue of us having a man who thinks he's a woman as the Commissioner of Public Health. We'll take a moment to show you a couple of things. This is Dr. Mark Levine a few years ago. This is the same person with a new name called Dr. Marissa Levine. He used to wear male clothes and have male parts. Now he dresses as a woman and is in charge of the public health for 8 million Virginians. Why isn't the media address this? Media, will you address that? Let's address the governor.